All right, so we're going to give it just a second. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All right, fantastic. As soon as we have somebody here. Okay, notifications have gone out. This is live on your channel too. I'm so excited. Whew, okay. So let me go ahead and kick things off. I'm going to start by introducing myself really briefly. I am so excited today. I have someone very, very special to me here for a cooking collaboration. So for anybody new here, hi, my name is Maggie, and I call myself the substitute teacher because I have been sharing my love of food on my health and wellness journey with you all, usually sugar-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free. So I substitute the foods that I used to love for the foods that love me back. But today we have someone incredibly special in the house. I'm going to bring her up. I would like to introduce you all to Miss Jazz Lee. So excited. Oh my goodness. I cannot thank you enough for being here. Jazz, if you would please just introduce yourself and then I'll tell everybody how I came across your path.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here too. I love your energy. Yes. It is Friday, so that's a good start. And
Yes.
we're going to cook together. We're going to make some really delicious food. That's another good start.
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Jazz Leaf, and I am a certified nutritional therapist. I actually worked with professional athletes, and I used to cook for them for 3 years back when I lived in Indianapolis. And then I turned my business into more cooking classes, whether it was online or in person. And then I did meal prep delivery and I did catering. So I've always been in the food space, I guess, for the last 6 years or so. And now I'm totally online and I'm creating recipes online, social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, blog. So now I'm more on the back end of things, I would say, and it is loving my body. My body is like, oh, you can sit down. So yeah, that's a little bit about my backstory.
I absolutely love it. And we are going to get cooking, you all. We are going to be making one of Jazz's favorite things, which is salmon. But I always like to give you all a little bit of backstory as to how we got here. So I work in technology. Jazz and I have a little bit of a similar background. So I do work for a software company, and I'm also very grateful to be able to work from home. My software company changed insurance vendors, health insurance vendors last year. And so you all know how it goes with open enrollment. You pick your plan, you go through all this stuff. And so the insurance company that my software company selected was Aetna. And one of the things you all have probably seen me wear this Apple Watch. I've never had an Apple Watch before. I just had regular watches, but we had kind of an incentive, if you will, in order to get this Apple Watch for free if we took healthy actions, whether it was completing challenges, getting our steps in, exercising. Instead of having to pay for this Apple Watch every month, the price would come down based on how many activities and challenges you completed. So a little bit of gamification, and I'm a sucker for a freebie, so I signed up, and I've been wearing this Apple Watch and earning it mostly free. One of the things that came through, there is an app that corresponds with this whole incentive that we've talked about, and it's called Attain by Aetna. And so I signed up in order to get the watch free, and it would come through with all of these different like health tips and different things that were informative. And one day, a healthy recipe challenge came across my Attain app, and I was like, wait a minute, I am here for the cooking. Let's talk about that. And so when I clicked on this challenge for the healthy recipes, it was this lovely lady named Jazz Leaf. And I had never heard of her before, but I'm like, yes, how can we make food that we want to eat, food that's actually good for us? And the first recipe of yours that I did, Jazz, was the crispy tortilla pizza.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that. Yep.
Exactly. So I made the recipe and I actually live streamed it for you all. So anybody who's new here, I have been documenting my own health and wellness journey by cooking and sharing with you all. So we did Jazz's recipe in one of my struggle cooking classes. and I tagged Jazz because I always want to give credit to the recipe creator. And she responded, and I was so excited. And I asked her, never thought in a million years if she would actually come on and do a collab. And she said, yes, pick anything you want out of her cookbook. So we're going to talk about that. And she's going to walk me through it. So that is how we got here. And I am so excited. Whether you're watching on my channel or Jazz's channel, please like the live stream. So Jazz, now that you know a little bit about how I found you, can you tell those of us who don't know what is a nutritional therapist?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so first of all, that pizza pocket, if anyone hasn't made that yet, you need to make it. It takes like 10 minutes to make, and it's so good, and you can completely substitute all of, if you're dairy free, if you're gluten free, if you're sugar free, all that kind of stuff. Put whatever you want in it. Okay, I just had to say that because it really is a good recipe. I'm glad you reached out. So nutritional therapy. I'm a nutritional therapist. I worked in the tech world as well, and then while I was working in the tech world, my heart wasn't in it. So I got my nutritional therapy certification online, and what it basically is, it's you analyze nutritional deficiencies in people, and then you learn how to combat those nutritional deficiencies with lifestyle changes, food-based lifestyle changes, and then meditation. There's other like stress relief, all that kind of stuff. So it's amazing how everything is intertwined. And I've always loved the holistic approach to food. I love the fact that, like, if you have a headache, there are certain foods that you can eat to combat that headache versus going for the Tylenol. And so I've always had an interest in that. So that's how it started. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to educate myself that way. But then the opportunity, one led to another, and then my brother-in-law was looking for a chef. He got drafted by the NBA, and lo and behold, I had a little bit of experience with the food world and in nutritional therapy. So that kind of got me my foot in the door. But that's a little bit about nutritional therapy, and it's a very great start to anyone looking to get into the nutrition field. But it did exactly that. It helped me, and it helped me in my deficiencies, and I was able to help the people around me with their deficiencies, and we just turned to food to solve a lot of our problems we were having.
I absolutely love that. I was getting a little bit of popping on my end, but I heard you completely fine. So you all let me know if the sound is good. We are going to get cooking. I have shared with my class here, my struggle cooking class, that I used to be pre-diabetic. I used to have elevated cholesterol, and I used to have borderline blood pressure. And all of that is normal now with no medication because of the changes that I've made. And as we age, we just can't always do what we used to do. So this is a way to make those things fun and tasty. So you all heard Jazz. She has a website. She is on TikTok. She is on Instagram. She is on YouTube. She has a blog. She has so many tips. I love her Instagram stories. She's doing like these little micro changes where you can, make changes for a healthy lifestyle. And I absolutely love it. One of the things that she has, and I did put the link in the description, Jazz has several cookbooks, ebooks, and this one is her air fried salmon cookbook. Okay, so you all, I only have the first couple of pages here. She's going to walk me through it. It has 20 plus recipes of different salmon ways to cook salmon. And one, if you know a little bit about Jazz, what I've read is that salmon is her favorite protein. I did put a survey up on my community tab, which of the recipes that you all wanted to see me cook. And we had a neck and neck, just about tied, with the crispy Cajun salmon and the brown sugar glazed salmon. So Jazz, if you would just let us know maybe what it is about salmon that you love, why it's so great, and then I'm going to wash my hands and start getting our ingredients together.
Perfect. While you wash your hands, I'll talk a little bit about salmon. So salmon is high in omega-3s, and it's really great for our brain health. I actually was in a really bad car accident about 3 years ago, and I was hit by a car. And one of the foods that I turned to, sorry, that's my cat's tail in my face. But one of the foods that I turned to was salmon. And the reason why is because it's really great for concussions, brain power. It just helps support brain function. So it's packed with protein, and it helps when you consume it. It kind of helps to reduce the risk of heart disease. It helps for your healthy joints, skin, nails, hair. It helps boost your metabolism. It has a great source of selenium. It's really, honestly, such a great protein. I eat it maybe once or twice a week, and I think that's a great way to supplement your diet with a little bit of omega-3s in seafood.
Awesome. All right, you all. So I am going to share my countertop here so you all can see. So if we've got salmon lovers in the house, please find the fish emoji in the chat and drop the fish emoji. So I have salmon. I just bought it fresh from Publix. And I always say, I'm not the food police, start where you can. But do you want to educate us on any types of salmon that you prefer, Jazz? Anything we should avoid, or just start?
Yeah, I think I think you said it the best way possible. I think people are too quick to judge. And I think you just start where you are. If salmon feels out of your budget, then go for the salmon that is in your budget, because there certainly are varieties. If you want to go for a really high quality salmon, you could go for a king salmon or a sockeye salmon. Otherwise, just buy what you have, what looks good to you, and taste the different variations. They all taste different. So you'll find one that you really love, but you'll get the same nutrition.
All right, that is fantastic. Okay, so we are going to make two of Jazz's salmon recipes. So I have a 2-pack here, and I noticed, excuse me, in your cookbook, it says to, most of them are to cook 2 pieces of salmon. Is that for 2 portions? So if you're just cooking for one, would I just do one?
Exactly. We would
Okay.
just split the recipe in half. So are we going to do the brown sugar glaze or the crispy Cajun first?
I say let's do the brown sugar.
Let's do that one. Yeah, because
Okay.
you know what? The cooking time on that is a little bit higher than the crispy salmon. So we
Yes.
can let that cook. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm going to get a cutting board, and I know you had some other sides on here, but we're going to focus on the fish. So let me get a cutting board, and we're going to open this up. Now I'm going to ask you, Jazz, are you team wash your meats or don't wash your meats? Because I know some people feel very strongly about that. I'm going to get a cutting board.
To be honest with you, it varies. If there's a piece of meat that if I open up a piece of fish and I'm like, oh, it has like some scales on it, like I want to get that off, I might rinse it under some cold water. But remember that when you're doing that, like it will splatter on your sink. So then a lot of people are just like putting food in there and then grabbing the food. So you just got to remember that there is the cross contamination. Otherwise, my best tip, if you don't want to wash it, just dab it dry with a paper towel. And I do that a lot. So just take a paper towel, dab your salmon dry, and then that way all of those, whatever we're adding onto it, in this case it's going to be Dijon mustard, it'll stick really nicely. So you can just do that.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to get the salmon out. I am team, I don't wash meat. This is me and my mom. And that's another thing that we have in common. I'm also come from an immigrant family. My family is from Ghana, West Africa. That's where I was born. Came to America when I was 1. And Jazz has shared on her channel that she has a Persian background. So if you love like Middle Eastern cuisine and all those amazing flavors, she's got some really good recipes there as well. All right, so we have our salmon here, and I know everybody likes a close-up, so you all can see it's kind of wet. So I'm going to do what Jazz just said. I'm just going to get a paper towel and just kind of blot it. And help me understand this Dijon mustard thing, because that seems like the weirdest ingredient when you're talking about fish. I'm going to go ahead and blot the both of them, and just so people can see, one is still kind of shiny, and then you see I've got that moisture off. So that's all that I'm doing. But yes, tell us about this mustard.
Mustard has such a unique flavor and taste, and in this case it actually adds so much flavor but without overpowering. So I have a lot of people that are like, I don't like Dijon mustard, please don't use it. Listen, you won't taste it. We're putting Dijon mustard and brown sugar on top of each other. The Dijon mustard basically just creates this sticky surface for any other seasonings to stick right on top of it. So that's all we're doing. We're just adding a layer of moisture that's going to hold that brown sugar.
Okay, sounds good. So I have 2 fillets here. One is bigger than the other. I'm always feeling greedy, but which one should we use for the brown sugar?
Let's use the smaller one for the brown sugar, because the other one will actually cut that into pieces.
Okay,
it looks like it might be a little bit easier to cut the bigger piece. So yeah, so we'll use the smaller piece, and then in this case we're just going to need Dijon mustard, brown sugar, and salt.
All right, so I just have regular Kroger Dijon mustard. You can let us know, I did see your mayonnaise shorts where you were talking about the different ingredients. And of course, you want to be as clean as possible and as natural as possible. When it comes to mustard, is there anything we need to be mindful of, or pretty much any Dijon will work?
I think any Dijon will work, and most people have that in their fridge. So I think this is one of those recipes that if you're like, oh goodness, I don't have anything in my fridge, well, maybe you do actually. You can make this recipe. Any Dijon mustard, and then while you're rubbing that Dijon mustard on, I talk about it being about 1 tablespoon, but I don't like to be greedy. I'm more of the cookbooks are hard for me to write because I'm like, you just got to cook with your heart. But yeah, but in this case, you want to make sure you get a really nice layer of Dijon mustard. You can kind of rub it on the sides as well. You could go in even heavier on the Dijon mustard, honestly, if
Okay.
you're okay with that flavor. But you really want to like rub it all in. And I don't know if yours has skin on it, because I think this is also something that we could talk about. No, okay. So in this case, if you would like, you could also rub the bottom of it, and that would
Okay.
get really, really flavorful. The entire salmon would get that Dijon mustard.
All right, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna turn this over and get that baby coated. And it's funny because I'm not a Dijon mustard fan as a condiment, but funnily enough, I've done other salmon recipes, not yours. I was saving it for today. When you make it with the fish, like you said, it just gives it this really nice stickiness. So all of our seasonings will adhere really nicely. So I'm just doing what Jazz says. I'm coating the top, the bottom, and I'm even going around the side. So I'll hold this up so you all can see and
That
let
looks
me know.
That's perfect. That looks
Okay.
so good. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
amazing. And then the other ingredient is brown sugar. And I know that you said that you,
So
mhm,
if you all can have brown sugar, you have brown sugar. But would this be acceptable? This is monk
totally.
fruit. Okay.
I'm just going to say any substitute, any granulated sugar substitute will work. So if you think of the other sugars that are available to us, there's
Okay.
coconut sugar that has low glycemic. So that's actually a really great alternative. If brown sugar, if you have monk fruit, I actually haven't tried it with monk fruit, but I assume you like the taste of monk fruit, right? That's the most important thing.
Well, I like everything. That's the problem. I'm greedy. But on the plan that I'm on, monk fruit and stevia have been approved for me. I know different sweeteners have different properties, and I always tell people, start with what you have. But you all can see here, this is just a granulated. It's not brown like brown sugar. Is that okay if I put that on?
That's okay.
Okay.
Can you eat honey or agave or maple syrup or any of those?
Yes, I do have a sugar-free maple syrup. Would that work too?
That would be
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, I
Okay.
would say. I mean, I don't know if you already added it because you probably don't want it too sweet, but that would be really delicious if you added a little dollop of that.
Okay. In addition to the sprinkle it with the monk fruit and then
Just, I don't know how much you added. If you
uh-oh.
added just a
Did I
tiny, tiny
lose
bit,
Jazz?
can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I can. There you are.
Okay, sorry about that. If you already added the monk fruit, that's okay. You probably don't want it too sweet. But if you didn't add it, or if you added only a little bit of monk fruit, I would go ahead and add a little tiny drizzle of maple syrup on there.
Okay, so that's a really good substitute if you guys don't have brown sugar at home, because I know sometimes brown sugar, it hardens up on us and it's kind of like, how are you going to work with that? So should I brush it in there with the,
Yeah.
Okay, with
Yep,
that
brush it
mustard.
in there. Yeah, and I'm all about substitutes. I always, whenever I taught my cooking classes, I always said, please don't go to the store. Just look in your pantry and just use what you have. Let's just use what we have. There's so many different substitutes. So I think I just stated like 6 or 7 substitutes we can use for brown sugar. So anyone can use what they have at home.
Absolutely. And should I turn it over and do the backside too? Okay.
Yeah, you can just honestly use the same brush because it probably has a little bit of sugar left on it.
Mm-hmm.
Use the same brush and just kind of brush that on the back. You can add a little bit more sweetener. It just depends on the rest. The best thing about this recipe is it just depends on your flavor profile. If you're someone that doesn't like too much sweetness in your savory foods, maybe you just flip it over and you use that same brush to brush the back. if you love a little bit of sweet, you can drizzle a little more maple syrup on the back. So that's up to you. There's no judgment.
I love that. I'm team sweet. I definitely love a savory, but that's my problem. I'm team sweet. So I do
too.
love what you said, Jazz. And for those of you all, please check out her website. One of the things I love when you go to her website, you can even see on her cookbook here, her e-cookbook, it says quick and easy in 30 minutes or less. She has real recipes with ingredients that you already have. It's great to try something new and get something extravagant, but using the ingredients that are kitchen staples, I love that.
Yep.
All right.
And then the last ingredient is just salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salt.
Just a tiny little sprinkle of salt. And the reason we do the salt with the sweet is to bring out that sweet flavor. So if you've ever baked anything, we add salt, and that's to bring out that sweetness. So we're just going to add a little tiny sprinkle of salt on both sides.
Okay. Oh man, I want to get in there now. Already
Yeah.
ready. So this is just pink Himalayan salt that I have here. So I just put a little bit in and then just kind of sprinkle it. That's super easy. Okay.
That's it. It's ready for the air fryer. Are you doing air fryer, or are you doing this on the stove? I forgot.
So I am going to do the air fryer because I'm team air fryer as well. Now I looked at your air fryer, and Jazz actually has a link on her website. You can get her Ninja air fryer. I have this air fryer. It's the Power XL. It's kind of like the oven style. So it's fine. Okay.
That's great. Yep. And we're going to put that filet in at 390. So 390 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll, go ahead.
So I know your air fryer, you just spray directly on the tray and put it in. Should I cover with foil or parchment or just spray directly?
It's up to you. If we want a little bit of an easier cleanup, you could do parchment or foil. I recommend either of those. And if you do, just spray them a little bit, or you could put it directly on the pan. That's okay because it is nonstick. So it's totally up to you. You have different options.
Okay, I'll give it a little bit of foil.
Yeah. I'm team less cleanup as well. So when I can, I'll do foil or parchment paper. And then you'll just spray a little bit of oil on that foil just so that the seasoning can stick to the salmon and it doesn't come off on it.
Okay, and then do you preheat your air fryer? I never do. Is that something we need to do?
I don't do it because, again, I'm all about quick, fast. Let's just put it in even if it takes an extra minute or two.
All right, so we've got this foiled, and I have just a little bit of coconut oil I'm going to spray on here.
Perfect.
So I use the MCT oil. It's just a little refillable. So I've got a little bit of a spray, and I'm just going to move that oil around and then just put our fish right on it.
Yep, that's it. And then it's going to go in for about 10 minutes. But this is when I want to talk to you guys about everyone is going to have different cook time because every fillet size is different. It's just like cooking steak. You can't be like, you always cook steak for 3 minutes each side. It doesn't make sense because you got thicker steaks, you got smaller steaks. So I say 10 minutes. So we can put it in for 10 minutes and then we can check it. And if it needs more time, we can always put it back in.
Okay, so 10 minutes at 390. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in.
Awesome. So happy to see everyone here. It looks like we all like salmon and we all like less cleanup and easy recipes.
All right, so that should get started any moment. Okay. All right, so while that salmon is cooking, should we start prepping the other one, or is there anything? Okay, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just gonna get another cutting board. I know, but just because I don't want to get the mustard on here. But again, for those of you all hopping in, and thank you all so much for being here, please check out Jazz has an air fried salmon cookbook. You all voted the brown sugar glaze, which is going in there. Maple syrup for me. And then look, she's got over 20 something different recipes of salmon. So thank you, everyone. Let me get a clean cutting board.
Perfect. This one's really fun. We're about to make the crispy Cajun salmon bites for everyone joining in and watching. These are so good. And the cook time on these are actually a lot shorter. And the reason why is because we're going to cube our salmon and we're going to cut it into little cubes. It's going to crisp up. So obviously you have smaller cubes. So you have smaller pieces. They need less cook time.
Yes, I noticed that on your cookbook, it said crispy Cajun salmon. And I was going to ask, having that extra surface area that makes it crispy. Okay.
Yep, exactly, exactly. So, yeah, that looks like a beautiful piece of salmon to cut.
Yes, I'm very excited. So you all can see here. So I'm not a good like cutter, so I just do half and
Yeah,
then okay. So just
perfect. Yeah,
so
there's no right or wrong here. If you had skin, Maggie's doesn't have skin, but if you had skin, you would take the skin off for this recipe and you
okay.
just cut it into like little 1 inch cubes.
Okay, let's go ahead and get in there. Yes, absolutely. So I know you have so many different recipes, Jazz. Is it even fair to ask, do you have a favorite way to eat your salmon?
I do. I have one salmon recipe. It was my viral salmon recipe. I think it got like 18 million views on TikTok. I know it went crazy. And it is so easy. It's really similar to what we did with the brown sugar one. You go
Okay,
Dijon mustard and then you go salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. That's it. And you cook it the same exact way. So it always comes out so juicy. So that's probably my favorite. Although my second favorite is this brown sugar glaze that we just put in the air fryer. I love the sweet and savory.
me too. Me too. Oh my goodness. Yes. Is there anything that you don't eat or anything that you can't cook?
No, I am well versed in cooking everything just because I did cook for professional athletes for a while. So I had to get over my fear of cooking the raw meat because that wasn't really my thing. But I cook everything. I personally don't eat pork and I just haven't for probably 12 years.
Yeah.
So there's really, I my husband loves it. He cooks it all the time at home. We do bacon for breakfast. I cook it for him. I just don't eat it.
You know what? I have been turned on to beef bacon. Do you know that this is a thing? I have something to show you. I'm going to cut this salmon. I did not know about that either because I'm not really supposed to have pork on my plan. I have it from time to time, but I'm really trying to. I'm maintaining an 80-pound weight loss and I have at least 20 more to go. But I'm going to show you something and everybody something watching.
You go, Maggie. I love
Yes. So one of my scholars, and I call myself the substitute teacher. So my cooking class, my struggle cooking class is made up of scholars, and someone mentioned beef bacon.
Let's see. I can't wait.
All right. So for anybody who has a Costco in your area, this right here, this brand I had never heard of. It's called Dean Halal and it's beef bacon. It is the closest thing to look at Jazz's face.
Looks exactly like it.
Now, clearly 5-pound slab, this will be with me for a while, but I'm telling you all, any of the bacon recipes that you've seen me do, this is the bacon that I use. The kids love it, everything, because I have had some other beef bacons that are more like deli meat, more like pastrami. This one gives you that kind of crispy, fatty, that bacon melt that we like. But yeah, if you all want to screenshot this, then none of this is sponsored, but this comes from Costco. You all can check and see if you have this in your area. I know you guys are shocked.
I know everyone's like, we got to run to Costco. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Great alternative.
Absolutely. Thank you all for the support. Look at everybody's mind is blown. Okay. So yes, that's what I love about the community. And I love, when I watch your page or other people, we don't know everything. And so you can always learn. And so I appreciate that so much. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Kim, it looks like she has tasted it and she says it's really good. Those look perfect.
Yes. I make it all the time. Maybe since it's Friday and the weekend, maybe we'll do some bacon and eggs or something really nice, something homey, but absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did I do with my salmon cubes?
It looks so good. You did so good. And we only need a few ingredients. Again, my recipes are very easy. So if we have a spray of some sort, like your MCT oil spray, perfect. So go ahead and just spray them very lightly. And the reason for this is just to allow that Cajun seasoning we're going to add to just be able to stick right to the. So,
is it okay to do it on the cutting board?
Yeah.
Or should I get a bowl? Okay.
No, do it. Yep.
Sprayed them lightly. All right, so that's done.
Perfect. And then Cajun seasoning. Do you have Cajun seasoning?
I do. I have never used Cajun seasoning. I don't know if anybody else has, but clearly I have a spice a little addiction because I like to try new recipes and then I end up getting an ingredient just for that recipe. And then I have so much, but I don't know. Have I even opened this? I've never
Nope.
used it. So,
It's really good on any sort of protein, and you can certainly use it again and again on any sort of protein. But really, what Cajun seasoning is just paprika, salt, garlic powder, pepper, onion, oregano, cayenne, and thyme. So I make my own because I have all those things, and I'll just make my own.
I love that. Of course. Well, that's good to know. So you all heard it here. You can make your own Cajun seasoning. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on liberally.
Yep.
Okay, you all like
Yep.
the Creole stuff too? Yeah,
Yep.
I smelled it and it gives me a little bit of like very savory, kind of bright. So it'll be my first time trying it. So let's get in
Oh,
there.
good. Yeah, and sprinkle that on liberally.
Okay.
I think that in this case, again, it's very customizable. So if you're someone that likes spicy, some Cajun seasonings can be spicy. So you want to just douse that salmon in the spice.
Okay, y'all, you heard it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's your workout for the day.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I need to
you
toss it around.
toss it around. You want to do the same for the other side. So you just want to be really, really liberal with it and
All
make
right.
sure, because that's where it's going to get all its flavor.
Absolutely. And this is so healthy because we're really just getting all that good flavor in this protein. And yeah, I like to season until I don't see any bare spots.
That's my girl. Me too. I am the same way.
Okay. So we're not done yet with the seasoning, y'all.
Oh
We're gonna
no,
go
we'll be here for about 5 minutes, everyone.
yeah, so you all can see here, but it's a little light for me. So we're going to go ahead and get it nice and coated.
Yep. Yep. Go ahead and keep spray. Keep. Yep.
And I love the all-in-one seasonings because it's kind of like, you know, you can kind of make it taste like you really put a lot in there because you did, but it was all in one.
Exactly. And I'm such a big fan. I think one of my biggest things when I was cooking.
Okay.
That's
I'm
good.
fine.
That looks really good. One of my biggest tips is you don't necessarily have to add a ton of oil and butter into your cooking to make things feel flavorful. It's the seasoning. So it's this that we're adding right now that's going to add so much flavor into whatever you're cooking at home. And that's the beauty of cooking at home is you get to control the amount of butter and fat and all of that goes into the food versus when you go to restaurants, you might not be able to control that.
Yeah, that's so true, Jazz. My mom, I'm the daughter of a retired home economics teacher. And so, you know, those of us that kind of grew up that way with a family that cooked, you know, I didn't really have a choice. And, you know, I've grown to love it now that as I get older, I have to make changes for health reasons. But my mom said the same thing. If you don't cook, then you have to accept what other people say is in your food. Who do we have? We have someone else. All right. All right, so I think we've got this nicely seasoned. It looks pretty good to me.
Yep.
Okay.
That looks great.
All right, so now is this also, I know I did say I wanted to do one in the air fryer and one in the pan, but you use your air fryer for everything, or do you ever cook fish on the skillet?
This one's actually really good in the skillet. And the reason why is because it's kind of like shrimp. You kind of, like if you've ever cooked shrimp before, you kind of get that char on one side once you flip it. So if you have a pan, you can do this in the pan and you just add a tiny bit of oil right on the bottom of the pan. You could do your oil spray, totally fine. And
Okay.
you'll cook it on medium high heat for like those are pretty small. So just like 1 to 2 minutes on each side, flip them and they're going to cook perfectly and give you that really nice char.
All right, so I actually have a little cooktop, so I'm going to set that up here. I know I have a
Perfect. Oh, good. Yeah, someone said I love a good cast iron skillet. This would be so good in a well-seasoned cast iron skillet. Yep.
All right, so now I heard our air fryer going off. So
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing for real. So I have two options. I have cast iron or I have nonstick. So
I would do I could
non-stick.
you could do nonstick for this one.
And I store in the oven.
I think everyone does.
Okay.
So if you're a butter person, you can add butter to the bottom. If you're not, you could do your spray. You could do olive oil, avocado oil, really whatever, just to kind
Okay.
of coat the bottom.
All right. Does this look like a pretty good size? I do have
So,
larger. That's good. Okay.
yep.
So what I'll do is I will wipe this down. Should I check on our other salmon first, or it's okay to just
I would,
sit?
yeah, it's totally okay to
Okay.
sit there. Yep.
All right. So let us how do you do it? Do you do oil or butter? Because I like both.
It just depends on my mood. What kind of mood are
Okay.
you today? Are you in an oil or a butter mood?
Since we did the MCT oil on it, I'll put some plant-based butter in here. Is that okay?
That's
Okay.
perfect. Yep, that'd be great.
All right. So being dairy free, I usually use goat's butter. I'm out, so I'm just going to be using some oat milk butter. So I'll turn this on medium and just put just enough to coat the
Yep.
bottom, or
Yep,
okay.
exactly. Just enough to coat the bottom. You don't need it a lot because, again, we want to keep it healthy and we want to keep it light. And you just need a little bit. Yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah, that's going to give it really nice and crispy. So let that melt.
Okay.
And as that's melting, once it's all melted, then we can just toss our salmon in there.
Oh, we have a question. Can you do both if you wanted to do oil and butter? They're both
Yeah,
team butter.
yep. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. What would you guys vote? Would you vote butter? Would you vote oil or would you vote both?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for supporting. I am here with the one and only Jazz Leaf. She has a website, a YouTube, a blog, cookbooks. Do you have any products as far as you said you make your own seasonings at home? Do you sell any of your own seasonings or anything that you've made?
No, I've really wanted to. I'm trying, but nope, nothing yet.
You're very, very busy, and I cannot thank you enough for being here. I mean, you all heard her TikTok salmon recipe went over how many million viral? So,
I
yes,
know. It's a good one. Yeah, so perfect. Looks like you're coating the bottom of the pan. Allow everyone saying butter, so it looks
you
like we
guys are
did
here for Team
everything.
Butter? Okay, yes. And we have some people who have their own Creole seasonings, Creole Cajun, absolutely. All right, so we've got a little sizzle going on. This goes from 0 to 10, and I have it on 5. Is that pretty good?
That's great. Yep, you
Okay.
could just toss the salmon in there, and once you feel like it's hot, and this is very easy to cook. So if you feel like it's hot, you can toss it in there, hear that
Okay.
sizzle. There we go. Love that sound.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so, oh my gosh, it smells amazing, like with the warm butter, like that smell. It's
Yes,
so good. Now, I
yes.
probably want to spread it out so everything is making contact, or
Exactly. Make sure everything is making contact, and then yeah, and then just let it sit there for about 1 minute until that one side it's cooking on becomes crispy, and you can see some of them start to turn white, and you'll know that it's being cooked. And then you can just
yes.
take a pair of tongs and flip them, each of them, one by one, as they're finished cooking.
This is a great recipe, and I was even thinking for kids, or if you don't want to waste, because that was a really big piece of salmon. And those of us that are moms, maybe you want to introduce, fish to your kids. You can make a batch like this, and then you can give a little bit so they can try it. Um, so I think it's been about a minute. Should I check one of the sides now?
Yeah, exactly. Check one of them, and if it looks like it has a nice char on the bottom,
I probably can go a little bit more. Okay.
you could go like 30 more seconds to another
Okay.
minute, and then we can flip it. These are actually really good on mashed potatoes. So if you ever have mashed potatoes, you can serve these on top, and like it's so good together.
Absolutely. Man, or
Mac,
mashed cauliflower
yeah,
or
mashed cauliflower, mac and
mm,
cheese. Yeah, so good.
salmon mac and cheese. Now we're getting fancy. Okay. Oh yeah. Now we have some
That's
nice color on there. So let me go ahead and turn these. Oh my goodness. Look
yeah,
at
that's
that.
really good.
They're looking really, really good. So yes, you all, you can make this whatever level of cooking you are on. How did you learn how to cook, Jazz? I know maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you had to do to become a professional nutritional therapist, or have you always been in the kitchen or anything?
My, yeah, I come from a big Persian family, and one of the one of the things that our life revolves around is food. It's like, what are we having for lunch? And breakfast isn't even served. So it's always one of those things where food is the main topic of conversation. So I just grew up in the kitchen watching my mom cook, my aunts cook, my grandma cook. It was just a really big part of our lives. But like I said, I suffered from a really bad car accident a few years ago. And then before that, I actually tore my ACL when I was playing basketball. And they had told me, oh, you're going to be out for a year. There won't be any way that you can do any sort of exercise. And I just turned to food because I knew that it was so powerful. So I started to learn how to cook for myself that was more anti-inflammatory and more healing. And that's just kind of how it started, and the ball kept rolling.
I absolutely love that. It looks like it's flaking really well. Would I take it off now or turn it off now? Or
Yeah, if you feel like it's cooked, then you can totally turn it off. Yeah. Looks good.
oh my goodness, I saw someone who said I'm going to try this, but my husband doesn't like Cajun seasonings. It seems like you could use the seasoning of your choice, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Anything you like. You could do salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika. You could even do the brown sugar glaze that we did right before this. You could use anything.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I know we are at time and I want to respect your time. So I want to taste one of these and I want to get our salmon
Yeah,
out.
we have
Okay.
to taste all of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time. I can't wait. Okay, let's see how this one looks. Oh boy. Oh boy.
So we put that baby in for 10 minutes. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Nice. So if anyone's like confused, I remember when I first started cooking salmon, I was like, wait, is it cooked? Is it not cooked? If you have a thermometer, you could stick it in there. 145 is what you want. But if you're okay, I mean, if you're just eating this yourself, you could also just cut it open right in the center. Just kind of get the hang of how long it's going to cook for you, or how long it's going to take for you to cook salmon in your air fryer, because every air fryer is different. And if it's still pink and flaky, it could go in for a little bit longer, but it just really depends on the way you like your salmon cooked. Some people like it cooked a little less done, more rare, and other people like it well done. Looks like it hit 145 exactly, huh?
Exactly. All right. So I do the flake test. So I go in. Yo, come on. Come on. Are you kidding me? Y'all, look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to take one little bite of this, and then I'm going to take a bite of this, and I'm going to let you have. Am I ready for this? All right. So this is the brown
I'm going to
sugar
take a
glaze.
video of you.
I used monk fruit and let me take this down. I used monk fruit and sugar-free maple syrup. Let's see. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Oh, oh my gosh. You're right about the salt. That little bit of salt just brings out the sweetness. Y'all, the fish is moist and it's so, look at that. I mean, I have to plate it and everything, but it just literally like falls apart. It's so, so good. I was wondering about that maple syrup, but you all, it just penetrated. It is so, so good. You could easily make this 10 minutes in the air fryer. So this was Jazz Leaf brown sugar glazed salmon. This one is number 9 on her cookbook, page number 9. Greedy. All right, so now we're gonna go in. So these have been crisping up nicely. You all can see. I'm gonna go in. I see one. Now, you probably wouldn't tempt this because you can look at all the small pieces and they're, nice and pink and flaked up, right?
Yeah, exactly. They look pretty good. If you have lemon, you could also add a little splash of lemon right on top. I always love lemon on the salmon, and it might be a really nice way. Oh, that's great. If you have it, and if you don't mind cutting it a little wedge and just sprinkling a little juice on top, that's
I'm so glad you said that because I ordered the ingredients this morning. I'm a big grocery delivery girl, so I wanted to make sure I had everything fresh so that we can do this. I'm just going to cut, like she said, just a little wedge here.
Yep, perfect. Yeah, lemon on fish. Lemon on any fish is good, whether you're cooking bass or shrimp or scallops or literally anything.
All right. So I'm just going to cut right here on this little napkin. This is a big one too.
Yeah.
And Jazz is on the West Coast, so it is morning time for her. And I, again, am so, so grateful that you took the time to come and share your recipes. All right, you all. So I have just a wedge of lemon, and I'm going to go in here. Just,
Oh, I love it. Well done.
okay. Oh, yes, you all are here for the lemon. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm just going to go in. Let me get a clean spoon, and I am just going to pick the piece of fish that kind of flaked apart anyway. We'll call it kitchen snacks. So, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you all can see it is nice, it is flaky. So, let's try this Cajun seasoning.
You're making us hungry.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, honestly, I can't pick. You all did a great job. I can't pick. If you want something delicate, something sweet and savory, refined, how would you serve your, well, we saw it in the cookbook, but what, any other suggestions for the brown sugar glazed salmon?
You could serve that on, I love salmon with pasta or rice. So you could serve it with pasta or rice, any sort of air fried veggie. So what I would do is while the salmon's cooking for 10 minutes in the air fryer, also put your veggie in on that same tray in the air fryer and throw it in, whether it's broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, asparagus, anything. Yeah, it would be so good.
Oh my goodness. Jazz, I cannot thank you enough. I know you're at time. Oh, great way to close out. Chandra says, where can I find her cookbook? I did link it in the description, but please let us know, where can we find you? Where can we find your materials? Tell us about your email list, anything we can do to support.
I am so grateful. This was really fun. So if anyone's watching and wants more of these easy, simple hacks of like just real life recipes, you can find me everywhere on social media. I'm Jazz Leaf. So it's Jazz, last name Leaf. That's actually my name. Jazz Leaf. And my website is jazzleaf.com, and you can find my ebooks there. So I have air fried salmon, I have a whole vegetarian cookbook, and I have a Trader Joe's cookbook that's dropping next week. So if you're a Trader Joe's fan, you could check that out. I also have an email newsletter, which I personally love because you get one email from me every single week, and it's a new recipe with the grocery shopping list. So it can kind of set you up for the following week. So if you love air fried salmon, or if you love any sort of salmon, the air fried cookbook is for you. If you love a variety of recipes, the newsletter can be for you. I really have everything, and I'm very active on Instagram messages. So if you're ever on Instagram, definitely go ahead and message me and we can just chat. Like someone said, I don't like, or my husband doesn't like Cajun seasoning. Well, just message me that, and then I can be like, okay, well, these are the other variations that you could use. I just like to help.
Jazz, you have been incredibly, incredibly helpful. I know it's the new year. I don't necessarily do New Year's resolutions. I just try to get better every day. And here we made two of your incredible recipes. We made the crispy Cajun salmon bites. And y'all, this honey, well, I call it honey, but it's the brown sugar glazed salmon. It is so good and super easy. So thank you. I'm just so grateful that you responded, and you all, she's right. I tagged her on social media and I asked her, what could I do to entice you to come and help me do a cooking collab? And she was so gracious. And so I really, really appreciate that. She's got over 200,000 on Instagram. And so I know she's a busy woman. This is morning time for her. She's on the West Coast. I'm in Atlanta, but you have made my day, and I am so, so thankful. So.
I am so grateful. Cheers to new friends. I'm drinking my chai latte. I want you to go enjoy your salmon.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much. And I am subscribed to all of her channels. I am on her email list. I have her e-cookbook. She's got a new one coming out. So you all please follow and support Jazz Leaf. And I will be looking for your recipe challenges in the Etna app. So thank you so much.
It. Thank you,
All
Maggie.
right, Jazz.
Thank you so much for everyone joining in. Have an amazing weekend.
Thank you. You do the same. Bye, Jazz.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, y'all, that's so awesome. Oh, we did it. Oh my goodness. Wow, you guys, this was incredible. I am just, I am so, so happy. I know we had a couple of supporters here. Thank you so much, Victoria, for the 10.99 super chat. That is so incredibly gracious. I see we had some people over here from Jazz's channel. Jazz is also on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, email, everything. So let me see who else we had here. I just want to make sure I saw. Thank you, Julian Brown, for the $5 super chat. That's incredibly, incredibly generous of you. Yes, 18 million. Her salmon recipe went viral, and I can see why. Y'all, I want to jump in this pan and eat my way out, but I'm not going to do that here. Oh my goodness. AB, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. You all can be here and watch, like, share, subscribe, comment, be in the live chat, all of that for free. When you go above and beyond like this, it just really, really warms my heart. I'm just scrolling to see if we had any questions, and then I am going to end the stream. You all like the recipe? So I guess closing out, which one would you all pick, or which one did you vote for? Did you vote for the crispy? Oh, yes, absolutely. Did you vote for the crispy salmon bites? So, I'd have to plate these. I'll plate them and get a little short for you all. Or the honey. I keep saying honey because she has a honey recipe. You all, look at this. 20 different types of salmon. Just salmon alone. Teriyaki, sugar, pesto, mustard, Persian, honey, everything. Oh my gosh. I feel so greedy. I want all of it. I want all of it. Chandra voted for the crispy. Yes, those bites are mouth watering. You all, I'm telling you, you want this. With that squeeze of lemon on there, it's so good. But thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and end and clean up. I can't thank Jazz enough for this collab. She's in the back, so I'm going to chat with her, and I will see you all on the next stream. Tomorrow is Saturday. For anybody new here, I do stream every day. Usually I'm cooking, but we're doing all kinds of things. Food here. Sometimes I go out to eat and review restaurant menus with you all. But this is just me sharing my journey and my love of food. And I am so, so happy that you all stopped by. Please like the live stream on your way out. And if you're not subscribed to Jazz Leaf, please go over to her channel and subscribe, follow, and all of that. She's incredibly gracious. Oh my goodness. All right, you all, thank you so much for being here.